Alright, today we are going to be discussing food safety. But to begin, we're going to play four corners, so if you guys would like to stand up, we'll start that. Alright, so the first question is, which sounds the most gross? Bacteria, mold, fermenting, or salmonella? And then you'll go to whatever corner. So then it's bacteria, mold, fermenting, or salmonella. Alright, why did you choose mold?
This is disgusting.
That's a good reasoning. Why did you guys choose salmonella?
Because it's very disgusting.
Do you know what it is?
Not really, but it sounds disgusting.
Okay. PBB is a drink, a brand, peanut butter jelly, or a chemical spill. So this one is a drink, a brand, peanut butter and jelly, or a chemical spill. PBB.
That's what weird.
So you all think it's peanut butter and jelly?
That's it.
It is not. It's actually a chemical spill. That's okay. We're going to talk more about that later on. So how does most bacteria spread around? The danger zone, bugs on produce, dirty hands, or because it's old?
Give you tetanus.
You guys all think it's dirty hands? And do you think it's because it's old?
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
Because you can get rid from things being old.
That is true. Why do you think dirty hands?
Because it can get on the food.
That's accurate. Why should we wash our hands? To get rid of dirt, so they're not slimy. It's required when handling food, or to get rid of bacteria. So you think it's because of to get rid of dirt, and you guys think it's to get rid of bacteria? Why do you think that?
Well, so wash your hands and use soap. Your hands won't be dirty. Wash your
Well, actually, both of those are accurate. So,
Oh.
okay, and then which is the most dangerous to eat in unhealthy terms? Meat, grains, fast food, or produce?
That's there. I think it's making it really like in Minecraft.
So you guys all think fast food? Why? That's accurate. That is, it's processed food. Why do you think meat?
Because you can die from it in Minecraft.
Okay.
No.
I mean, that is a game, but that's a good reason.
I
Okay.
mean, it's the same thing in real life. So.
That's all I have for the four corners. So now you guys can take a seat, and I'm going to pass out a worksheet. You guys can each take about 30 seconds to answer question number 1. What do you already know about food safety? Alright, I'm going to start talking about food safety now. code for food safety is more laid back than when you're handling animals or heavy machinery. It mostly requires clean clothing to look presentable, and also you just want to have clean clothes so your bacteria from your clothing doesn't transfer onto the food you are prepping. The next is aprons. Aprons help keep our clothes clean and look presentable while they are re-washed after each use. And then we have gloves that help us change out every time we are using them. So it helps reduce the chances of cross-contamination, because when we are changing trash, moving to different stations, or handling food, we are always changing our gloves and washing our hands. Cutting gloves are used to protect ourselves from cutting ourselves when we cut food on a regularly. So it's more used as a safety tool than it is to help stop the spread of bacteria. Having our long hair pulled back helps us stop touching our face, which also has bacteria and germs on it. And it also helps reduce the chances of our hair being put in our food. So now that you know the dress code for food safety, what is food safety? Food safety is a practice and condition that preserves the quality of food. Healthy food practices will help prevent humans from getting foodborne illnesses such as salmonella. As you can see, we have the 4 C's up here: cleaning, cooking, chilling, and cross-contamination. So what are the different categories of food safety? We have date marking, preventing cross-contamination, cleaning and sanitizing, food allergies, and the most important, temperature danger zone. So now we're going to explain what date marking actually means. Date marking allows the quality of the food to be guaranteed freshness by putting a label on it. With that being said, the labels aren't always accurate. This bread was bought 2 weeks ago, and as you can see, there's no mold on it, and it still is soft. This bread was purchased 2 or 3 days ago, and it is no longer good. You can see there's stuff growing on it. So when you are using date marking, you also want to be aware of that. Sometimes the dates aren't always accurate. Oftentimes in stores you'll see labels such as sell by, best by, and expiration date. Sell by is the highest quality, but the store has to sell it by this date. The best by is the quality is still good, but it's not as good as it can be. And then the expiration date is that it's no longer good and it should be thrown away. So now we have another hands-on activity. I'm each going to give you guys 3 stickers, green, orange, and pink. And you're going to come up and tell me which is which of these tomatoes. There's an expiration, a sell-by, and a best by. So you'll only need 3 of the stickers, but I'm just going to give you guys the whole sheet. So you guys can come up and tell me which one you think is the expiration, the best by, and the sell-by. Green will be the sell-by, orange is the best by, and then pink is the expiration. So these are the 3 tomatoes you will be evaluating. Red or pink is the expiration, orange is the sell-by, Alright, so it looks like all of you got the expiration one right. And I see a couple orange and green ones mixed up. So did anyone want to explain why they chose this one the way they did? That's okay. So this one would be the best buy, simply because if you look at the tomato, there's still a little bit of green on it. And also if you look at it, it's starting to split. Where this one is mostly red, and there's no splits in it. So this one would be the sell-by one. So how do we prevent this from reoccurring? We can use FIFO. FIFO is an organized system that makes sure that the products with the most recent expiration date are used first. We also touch bases on cross-contamination. Does anybody know what cross-contamination is? What is it?
It's like where like you when you shake someone's hand, like the germs going from the head of their hand to your hand.
A little bit, but in food terms, it's when you are transferring bacteria from one substance to another. And that will give you salmonella or other viruses if you consume the food that's tainted.
Do you use tetanus?
Tetanus? No.
Oh yeah, I feel like I forgot all about that.
Does anybody know examples of cross-contamination? There's 3 different ways you can cross-contaminate. Food to food, equipment to food, or people to food. So food to food would be like if you had meat on the high shelf of your fridge and you had vegetables on the bottom, if the juice from the meat came in contact with those produce, that's food to food cross-contamination. Equipment to food could be like using the same cutting board for raw meat and vegetables without washing them in between. And then the people to food could be like you not washing your hands in between each of those. So how can we keep it clean? We can wash our hands with soap and water, and we can even sing our ABCs to ensure that the bacteria is gone. The same goes with the utensils. We should be washing them with soap and water in between each use. Next, we need to make sure our area that we are prepping our food is wiped down. So to do this, you can easily grab a Clorox wipe. It's a great, quick way to make sure the area is being sanitized. Lastly, we can wash our produce. Our produce has so much dirt and even possibly chemicals on it from the farm. So by washing that, we are reducing the chances from eating that stuff. Now we're going to talk about food allergies. By keeping our station, utensils, and produce organized and clean, we're practicing healthy habits of an organized food safety system. This allows us to separate foods that may cause people have allergic reactions such as peanuts, soy, wheat, eggs, and there are so many other allergies that we probably don't know about. This white chocolate label says sugar, whole milk powder, and other ingredients are in it. But down at the bottom it says made in a factory that handles nuts, wheat, gluten, soy, and egg. They put that label there because they cannot guarantee 100% that this white chocolate has not touched any of those ingredients. So it's important for factories to know that their customers can't be guaranteed that non-allergen. The temperature danger zone is the most important method of food safety, simply because this is where the food is determined whether it's safe to eat or not, hence the name danger zone. So when we are thinking about danger zone, we can think about it as a thermostat, and there are 4 different categories of the temperature zone. Our frozen food should be kept at 0, which is down at the bottom. Our refrigerated food should be kept at 40, which is like still pretty low. The danger zone is anywhere between 41 degrees and 139, which would be in the middle, so you know it's not quite ready yet. The cooked food should be kept at 140 degrees, which is up high, so you know it's ready, it's cooked, it's good. The most important about this is that if the food is in the danger zone for more than 2 hours, it needs to be thrown away. So how can we tie it back to agriculture? Food safety doesn't participate actively in ag, but it still doesn't mean that it's not important. We have several leadership roles that need to be taken to make sure that our food is being handled safely and it's okay for our consumption. It's important to ag because our ultimate goal is to have a food source. Livestock owners and farmers, their goal is to have a food source that people want to come back to. So in order to do this, we need to take this role very seriously and help stop things to happen like the PBB that I mentioned earlier. Okay, so now we're going to talk about what PBB is. PBB is a chemical spill that happened in 1960 in animals' food. So now I'm going to demonstrate to you what it looks like. These two cups are very similar. Each one is the eyes of a customer and the other is the eyes of the factories. So they add nutrients to animals' food to make sure they're good, they're healthy. So if I mix in sugar and salt, they look similar, right? You can't tell anything's wrong with this. So this is what customers believed they were getting versus what they were actually getting, which was sugar and poison. You can clearly see a difference between this and this. So factories may have known that they were giving this out, but they couldn't afford to lose that. So as animals, like cows or beef, ate this product, they then got sick and either were given to people to eat, and those people got sick, or they died. So this was a huge setback for us in agriculture, not only because we lost so many animals, but because we had to regain trust with our livestock owners and farmers that our food was safe to eat. With that being said, we are going to take a minute to play Kahoot to wrap up everything that I just taught you guys. So the code is on the board.
You guys want to smoke food?
OOT.IT. Alright, before we play Kahoot, I'm going to ask you guys, down at the bottom, it said, what did you learn from this lesson? So did anyone want to share something they learned? Anybody?
There's poison in some fruits.
That spills happen if we aren't careful with what we're putting in our food. That is accurate, yes. What was your favorite part about the presentation? What was your favorite part about the presentation?
Probably
The cow?
the kids that
Good to know.
I think
Okay,
it was a
guys.
good variety, like in the four corners and in the educational part.
Thank you. Well, that's all I have for you today. So thank you for listening to my presentation, and I hope